Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, where today women's lacrosse crowns a national champion. It's the undefeated ACC champs, North Carolina, against the battle-tested Big Ten champs, Northwestern. Only one can leave as the national champion.
Legacy. How will yours be defined? When they think of you,
so much on the line.
Will it be of passion?
Stay in the moment.
Everybody together.
Sacrifice. Greatness. Will you meet the moment to live amongst legends? Or watch
in the biggest of moments, she has delivered
as someone else's dream becomes reality.
They're on a mission.
Heroes are remembered.
Unbelievable moment.
But legends live forever. Here at the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championship.
Gillette Stadium is certainly no stranger to legends and championships, and neither are these two programs. Number 1, North Carolina, the undefeated Tar Heels, headlined by Chloe Humphrey, a freshman phenom who has taken the sport by storm. And the Northwestern Wildcats, powered by the nation's leading scorer, who has enjoyed a record-setting season. Taylor and Northwestern are here after taking out the reigning national champions, Boston College. This is the first time since 2016 BC will not play for a national championship in the sport of women's lacrosse. And we are set for an epic conclusion to what has been an incredible season. Charlotte North, she and Stanwick Birch, Jay Alter with you. We are fired up for these two perennial powers to go toe-to-toe.
Well, for the third straight year, this Northwestern team is back on the biggest stage, the national championship game. Back in 2023, they dominated Boston College 18-6 to win. Last year suffered a heartbreaking 1-goal loss to that BC team, but Friday night, we saw the fight and grit. They took down Boston College, down 11-6 in the fourth quarter, stormed back, dominated possession, and they are ready for a battle today.
And for North Carolina, they're back in the big game. Most people think of North Carolina, you think championship weekend mainstay, but they've actually missed the past 2 Final Fours. They were riddled with injuries a season ago. They stormed into this 2025 season with revenge on the mind, and they are trying to complete their second perfect season in 4 years.
Championship Sunday feels a lot more like 2022 than it did a year ago for this Tar Heels team, Dana Boyle.
Yeah, Jay, it's been a windy road to get back here for North Carolina, a team that was riddled with injuries in 2023 and 2024, keeping them out of championship weekend, but they returned back to Gillette Stadium with a renewed sense of joy. Brooklyn Walker-Welch, a senior captain for Carolina, missed the 2024 season with a lower body injury, told me that missing the last 2 championship weekends has been at the forefront of her mind. Chloe Humphrey missed 2024 season, her first season on campus, with a foot injury. She's playing inspired along with the rest of the Carolina team this weekend.
Jenny Levy, the Hall of Fame head coach for North Carolina. She is 3 wins, 2 losses in national championship games. One of those losses coming to Northwestern back in 2009. She had, during the Wildcats' incredible 5 straight national championship run.
It was an unbelievable story for this Northwestern program. Kelly Amani Hiller been leading the charge, bringing it back in 2001, and in 2005 they won the first NCAA championship, first team outside the Eastern time zone to do that, and they were dominant. 7 NCAA championships, 5 in a row. They are looking to add another one to their trophy case. They also had that 2023 special run with Izzy Skane, Tewaaraton Award winner, one of the best to ever play.
Now let's turn our attention to midfield for a playing of the national anthem.
And now, fans, if you're willing and able, would you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and those who support our freedom at home and abroad. Today, the colors are presented by local representatives of the Coast Guard Base Boston. And now, please join Rebecca Solomons in the singing of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, the stars-spangled banner, flying above the land,
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Rebecca Solomon.
You can see the emotion in the faces, what it means to play on this stage, to play for a national championship. And you only get to this moment with some serious star power, and Northwestern certainly has that, Sheehan, with Madison Taylor.
The junior has that star power, a record-breaking season, 109 goals. She attacks the cage with a fierceness, got great explosion, especially coming off that 8-meter. Really explosive first step, and has been on a mission to score this year. 4 goals and 4 assists. Sometimes her vision gets overlooked, even though she leads the team with assists. Here for the game-winning assist. Maddie Taylor was face guard all game. She pops open to get the ball. She's head is constantly up, looking for the feeder. And she does this by drawing the attention of the defense. You watch here, Boston College, they're gonna slide. This allows Sam Smith to cut into the open space. Taylor with her head up finds her, and Smith is able to cash in for that crucial goal.
109 goals, the most in the history of this sport in a single season. Now getting to play for a national championship, and for North Carolina, they are leading goal scorer, Charlotte, a freshman.
So dynamic, and the brightest lights on the biggest stage did not faze the redshirt freshman Chloe Humphrey. 7 goals on 9 shots in the semifinal matchup versus Florida. What makes her so dynamic is her versatility and her slick two-handedness. No 2 of these goals were the same in the semifinal, but today, expect her to get the party started on the perimeter as the top dodging threat of this potent Tar Heels offense.
Chloe Humphrey is the future superstar in the sport of women's lacrosse, but the freshman is focused on the here and now, trying to leave Gillette Stadium with a national championship. In 2022, Humphrey was in the stands to watch her older sister Nicole win the championship for the Tar Heels. An incredible moment to suit up and play along her teammates, her sisters. 2 dynasties, 2 perennial powers. This is exactly what you want to decide a championship. From the first whistle of the fall to today, the final game of May, a season of sweat, belief, and everything in between. You spend that entire time dreaming of getting to this moment, winning a national championship. Well, that dream is alive in Foxborough. Northwestern in black, North Carolina in the Tar Heel blue. Sophie Student, the draw control taker for North Carolina. Sam Smith for Northwestern. It's the ACC champs against the Big Ten champs with a national championship on the line. And it's the Wildcats of Northwestern that start on possession.
Draw controls in this game, I think, are going to be key. This was the deciding factor for Northwestern coming from behind against Boston College, getting those possessions. You see a hard foul and a yellow card to start this game against North Carolina for the cross-check.
And that's against the freshman, Eliza Osborne, who's been terrific this season for the Tar Heels. An early card. Could that be the officials setting the tone early in this game, Charlotte?
Absolutely. We saw the physicality in the semifinal matchups. Expect similar physicality today. Both units for both of these teams like to play fast and throw a first punch.
So Northwestern starts on the power play. Just 25 seconds into this national championship game. When the Wildcats have the ball, all eyes on 25. Madison Taylor just passed it away there. Nation's leading scorer. You know she's going to look to go to goal on the power play. Riley Campbell, saved by Betty Nelson. And a quick outlet. North Carolina has numbers. 4-on-3, shorthanded. Do they go to goal? Yes. And Marissa White wasn't ready for it. Delaney Schweitzer, the Northwestern goalie, out of her cage on the clear. And the Wildcats get the ball back. Still a woman up with plenty of time left on this power play.
A lot of times when you're woman down, pushing transition is the right opportunity because you're in that unsettled situation. Saw Brooklyn Walker-Welch, the true defender. She likes to stay on throughout the midfield into the offensive zone.
We saw her taking some shots in practice yesterday. I thought she was going to maybe take it to Cage. I thought she made a great look to feed that to White, and just an uncharacteristic bobble. But Northwestern, they'll get a second chance here to attack. I'd love to see them really work for a better shot opportunity when they are a player up.
Here's Madison Taylor, great feeder, does it there. Betty Nelson, 2 early saves to start this game for North Carolina. Redshirt freshman goalie standing tall to deny the Wildcats on this power play. Still 25 seconds left on it. Back to Riley Campbell. Trying to shake her way free. Great defense. Kylie Moe-Tice swiped it away. And North Carolina's woman down defense delivers not once, but twice.
Really impressive start for their defense. #1 defense in the nation. Really have frustrated opposing offenses with their relentless physical pressure and scrappiness.
Nobody picking up Sophie Student, now settles down.
And
back to even strength.
And it's the little things that Tar Heels defense does. You saw the off-ball awareness, the physicality on the interior, and using your stick perfectly timed as you see that feed go into the middle.
Northwestern been known to mix and match between their zone and man-to-man defenses. You wonder how they would try to limit North Carolina today. Nobody's been able to stop this undefeated Tar Heels team.
When these two teams met earlier this season, Northwestern came out in their zone defense. The Tar Heels quickly went on a run, and that forced the Wildcats to switch into their man-to-man. So it looks like they've elected to start in that man-to-man defense.
Putting a lot of pressure on Ashley Humphrey, who's handling the ball right now. She's the feeder, trying to tie her up.
Looking for her younger sister, Chloe. Couldn't connect. Scramble for the ground ball. And it's won by Northwestern.
We talked about the physical defense for North Carolina. Northwestern is just so they are scrappy, they go at you hard, they put a lot of pressure, they can collapse on double teams and come with some takeaway checks.
Led by #4 right here, Jane Hansen, the takeaway artist.
And Betty Nelson reading it very well to start this game.
She's had some really strong stops, especially when you start a game and you are a player down. Give credit to Betty Nelson and the defense in front of her.
Her first year playing college lacrosse, you make it to the national championship game. No nerves detected for the Tar Heels goalie. Another freshman, Chloe Humphrey, in attack mode, denied by Delaney Schweitzer.
The goalies have been the story in these opening minutes, and we're going to see an off ball. Looks like a hold. Ashley Humphrey was being face guarded, held off ball. They're going to set her up with the ball. Alex Blake being called with the hold.
She's drawn the assignment, the face guard assignment, trying to deny Ashley Humphrey of the ball. A little too physical there.
So what a moment this is for Ashley Humphrey, who leads the team in assists with 86. Passes off the 8-meter. Kate Levy tracks it down, keeps the Tar Heels on possession here.
One way to attack a face guard is to get involved with picks. You see Chloe and Ashley Humphrey working off ball to get open.
Neither of these teams have been able to get into their offensive rhythm early in this opening quarter. Still looking for the first goal of this championship game. Godin trying to squeeze it inside to Marissa White. Couldn't get it cleanly, and Northwestern takes it away with Sammy White. Sammy White, now a senior, first-team All-American. She shined in the 2023 National Championship game. Was the most outstanding player.
I don't think that Schweitzer knew that she had a player there that was going to help her out. Got a player down. Ashley Humphrey was on the turf and a green card in the middle of the field for a physical foul. Check into the body.
So it ends up being chaos for Northwestern, turns in to a woman up opportunity, and Ashley Humphrey getting up gingerly after this collision.
She hits the ground hard. It's good to see her up, walking, looking like she's fine right now. Those physical fouls in the midfield will be awarded green card. That's a 1-minute penalty.
You can see how much the nerves are evident on this stage. It's the last possible day you can play. It's the biggest stage in the sport. It's what you work for all year long. But you got to be able to settle in.
What can Northwestern do differently on this power play? They struck out the last time.
One, they've been shooting high. They got to mix up their shots. Shoot to space. They're going against a hot goalie right now in Nelson. Great pursuit. And on the end line, I think they're going to call a push. So this will stay Northwestern's ball.
And that's a smart play by Miles right there on the end line. If she would have picked that up, she would have run out of real estate.
That's great, picking up some of that official sound on the field. Looks to be a clock issue.
In a national championship, every second matters.
So Nikki Miles will start with the ball. This has just been a frenetic pace, back and forth. The defense coming up with some great takeaways, goalies with some big stops. Offense needs to settle in. You saw Chloe Humphrey have a couple early shots. Usually, she's able to convert cleanly on them. You just want to take the extra second. You can feel sometimes rushed, especially when there's been a few misses. Take that chance, take that extra second to look for the right place in net, throw in the fake, whether it's with your stick or your head fake.
And the best way to settle in is to get everybody a touch and use the entirety of the shot clock to try to work for the best opportunity.
Now, usually a long stoppage like this, you're wondering if it affects the offensive rhythm. Neither team has gotten in to an offensive rhythm, so maybe it'll serve as a deep breath for both of these teams.
I think it can just allow you can communicate, you can get yourself situated the right place in the field. Maddie Taylor looks to be behind cage. I believe they'll try to work it to her.
Northwestern still on the power play. Can they cash in? That whizzes wide. A good look. Lucy Monroe just missed the cage. Another opportunity, and this time it finds the back of the net. Abby Locascio opens the scoring, and it's Northwestern who draws first blood.
Locascio gets her 10th goal this season. Finally, Northwestern finding some rhythm. Maddie Taylor, the team's leading assister, wide open. Locascio's in the middle, just cutting through the seams in the space. When Maddie Taylor has the ball, the defense is hyper-focused on her. She can attack the net, and they just have to, North Carolina as a defense, get on the cutters, get a stick on stick, and this time, they're able to slip it by Betty Nelson.
Lacasio works so well on the left side of the field with Riley Campbell and Madison Taylor, all natural lefties that really balance out this Wildcat offense.
That's sometimes the key in these national championship games. Players stepping up that aren't the ones that grab all the headlines. Lacasio just with 17 shots on the season coming into this game, but getting a really important first goal.
Kaylee Harden with the draw control when she was electric on the circle in the semifinal win against Florida. Her and Osborne combined for 10 draw controls. They like to make it a 50-50 game.
This is a nice adjustment offensively for North Carolina, staying out wide, letting the ball do the work. That was a directive that was yelled in after that Northwestern goal by Jenny Levy. Keep the spacing.
Official's going to bring this ball back here for the physical foul on Chloe Humphrey, although she had a head of steam. Sometimes you don't want the play to be blown dead.
Sounds like it's a broken stick.
You can't play with a broken stick, so heads up play that she's able to switch that one out.
The shaft of 31 on Northwestern split, Charlotte, you're absolutely correct.
And that's why you gotta have plenty of backup sticks. Make sure that the pockets are worked in, be ready for it to the head to break or the shaft to break. Great quick slide for Chloe Humphrey. They know how dangerous she is.
Osborne weaving in. Lost control. Schweitzer, the goalie, battling for it. Jane Hansen trying to muscle her way out of traffic. And Northwestern has turned North Carolina over for a 5th time midway through this first quarter. Very uncharacteristic for this undefeated North Carolina team.
And those turnovers just really juice up this Northwestern team. You're going against a #1 offense in the nation. You know that when you can come up with a turnover or a save, that is huge. Jane Hansen, one of the best in the game defensively, coming up with the back checks, but crucial in getting those critical ground balls.
And she's in position for these clean checks, even after you feel like Osborne was running to daylight, running right down the center of the 8-meter. Just stays in the play, doesn't take her eye off the ball. Perfectly timed takeaway.
And we've seen Osborne all season long, just dicing through the defense. Such a quick first step. Great two-way midfielder.
This is Nikki Miles, well defended. Now has a step, goes to goal, over the top. Now it's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds. Unlike other sports where if you shoot and miss the other team and it goes out of bounds, the other team gets it. Madison Taylor tries to go to goal, and that time the closest to the ball was the goalkeeper, Betty Nelson, to win possession for North Carolina. And we are playing all the yellow lines today here at Gillette Stadium. The men's championship tomorrow right here on ESPN. They'll play the white lines for that, but it is all yellow today for our women's title game.
Chloe Humphrey with the ball. She put the team on her back in that game Friday against Florida. Scored 3 straight goals after UNC ended the first quarter down 4-2. Really impressed with her. I'd like to see everyone work the ball. You can't just be the Chloe Humphrey show, but she definitely put on a show in Friday night's game with 7 goals.
They find Chloe, and she stings the corner. That's more like it for North Carolina. Sheehan, you just talked about their slow start in the semifinal before they rattled off 18 unanswered. Chloe Humphrey starting the party.
Chloe Humphrey, the redshirt freshman, unfazed by the brightest lights on the biggest stage. She ties this game up at 1.
So I think it means something, especially seniors, graduates, kind of your last time out. You know, finish off right, and what a time to do it, and what a place. So best of luck. I'm sure I'll be cheering y'all on. Anytime I got some Carolina Tar Heels in here, that's for me. So,
how cool is that? Patriots quarterback Drake May, who obviously played his college football at North Carolina, and will call this field home this coming fall. Gillette Stadium, a great venue to crown a champion. And so far, a heavyweight fight between 2 Hall of Fame head coaches, Jenny Levy and Kelly Amonte Hiller, tied at 1. Not much to separate these two teams in the opening quarter.
Well, I think that was one of the biggest takeaways also, just talking to all the players here over the weekend. Just the energy and excitement it was to be in this stadium. We saw Patriot players walking around the hallways. They're so excited to be on the stage. So much gratitude for all the 4 teams that were in this tournament.
And both teams with a lot of new faces this season. So much gratitude, understanding how hard it is to actually get to championship weekend.
I think you had that with North Carolina missing the last 2 Final Fours, realizing that they want to be back here. And then even though Northwestern has been a fixture the last three times, making their 3rd straight Final Four, they suffered that heartbreaking loss, 1-goal loss to Boston College last year. They feel like they've got something to prove.
And it's just been an awesome weekend of lacrosse. It finishes tomorrow. 4 straight days as we crown a champion on the women's side today and the men's side tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN. For more information, NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships.
North Carolina has been perfect, and teams have come close, most notably Boston College, but not been able to come up with the win, and they often try to take away one of the Humphrey sisters. Northwestern still trying to face guard Ashley Humphrey. This is going to be a foul. With that check, any check that's into the body, into that head area will be whistled.
You can see how much space they're giving Chloe Humphrey, this North Carolina offense, to operate and go to work.
Beats the double team, but it's saved by Schweitzer. What a save by Delaney Schweitzer. Rescued that possession for Northwestern. Emerson Bolig, so much speed, 45 in black, a 1-woman clearing machine. It's surprising that Madison Taylor, the nation's leading scorer, has been very quiet in this first quarter, 25 in black.
Sam Forrest is tightly marking Madison Taylor. That is first-team All-American on first-team All-American. A matchup to keep your eyes on right here.
Taylor has it. Double team comes in, retreats. Forrest all over Taylor. Still manages to pick the pass. Bolig. Save made, Betty Nelson.
4 save for Betty Nelson. These goalies have come to play. We talked with Delaney Schweitzer, who's at her 3rd college. Started at USC, spent time at Syracuse, now Northwestern for her final year. She's been battle tested and said this is her last collegiate game. She knows what's on the line. She looks like she's got something to prove today, early with making some of those big stops.
And sometimes when you're so fortunate to play on the last day of the college season, you know that it is your last game. You leave it all out there on the line.
You both finished your college careers in a national championship game, right?
Mine was a loss, but yes, that is how I finished. But it's a great memory.
I'm right there with you.
Misery loves company. Thank you, Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Kate Levy bounces it home. The head coach's daughter, Kate Levy, fires North Carolina in front.
Kate Levy, a true freshman, 14th goal this season. She leads the team in calls turnovers, does a lot of the dirty work. We saw her score big goals in the ACC tournament. Coming up clutch, a lot of focus is on Ashley and Chloe Humphrey. They need other players offensively to step up, but this starts with a great Betty Nelson save. And we talked all season long that what makes UNC so great is their depth. Look at the clear out here. Gives a complete lane to cage for Kate Levy to take that on the run. Great protection of the stick, gets strong side. You can see Delaney Schweitzer is well up on that crease, decreasing the angle, coming very high up on the arc. But Levy had the patience to shoot around her.
And this would be the first mother-daughter duo to win a national championship in women's lacrosse.
So many family ties on the field today. Levy has provided such a spark out of the midfield with elite production offensively.
North Carolina has now won 3 straight draw controls, and this is what makes the Tar Heels so difficult to go against, is when they get rolling, it is make it, take it. We certainly saw that in the semifinal win against Florida when they scored 18 unanswered goals.
I've never seen anything like that, their performance. They were down in that first quarter, but then they started winning possession, and that was key, and they just never looked back. I feel like they had some jitters in those opening minutes, but possession is everything. When these two teams, you got to make sure they count. That draw is going to be a crucial battle.
And this Tar Heels team is going up against one of the best draw control units that we've seen this season in Northwestern, 4th nationally in draw control percentage. We saw what Sam Smith did in the semifinal game, but this is a battle of 2 elite draw teams.
Quick off the restart, Godine goes to goal and scores! Caroline Godine! And that's 3 straight North Carolina goals.
Ashley Humphrey being denied the ball behind. Caroline Godine says she can handle from X. She initiates with a hard drive off of this restart. She catches and attacks right away. That's what gets the defense unsettled in a chaotic situation. And it's that subtle plant step, hesitation, and patience by the junior attacker to win her step to a better angle. Godine's role for this offense has evolved over her time in a Tar Heels uniform, being such an off-ball threat this season with players like Chloe Humphrey and Ashley Humphrey surrounding her, but she shows off her shake right there.
Make it 4 straight draw controls for North Carolina.
Stop the play. And a lot of these whistles in women's lacrosse are all about safety. Any check across the body, dangerous, will be whistled and reset. Can result in an 8-meter like we're going to see right here. Not a great angle here for Eliza Osborne. She's going to be on that hanging hash mark, but she's got an excellent first step. Wouldn't be surprised if she tries to attack to get a better of an angle. Looks like she's in passing mode, though.
It does just that. And now a free position on the opposite side of the arc for Addison Patillo.
I love this look because sometimes you don't like your angle, but you have someone behind you. So quick ball movement can find the backside just like that.
Patillo, another member of the star-studded freshman class. Usually think about teams playing for a national championship and it's veterans and seniors. It is the freshmen who have brought North Carolina to this big stage.
#1 recruiting class that North Carolina was able to grab, and they have stepped up and just really developed and shined.
Schweitzer, big save off the 8-meter, but a push. So this will be a replay. Northwestern fans unhappy about it.
So when you're fouled in that 8-meter, you get placed on the hash mark on the 8-meter closest to where the foul occurred. So this is going to give Patillo an even better angle. So watch this, watch the extension of the arms. And I see a little shove.
Patillo explodes in, Schweitzer the save again.
Delaney Schweitzer coming up big. One of the biggest names in the transfer portal. A big get for this Northwestern team to have her. Kelly Monty Hillers talked glowingly about her personality and leadership.
Had made it to 2 Final Fours championship weekends with Syracuse, but never made it to the final day of the season. Delaney Schweitzer. Now she does it against North Carolina. Less than a minute left to this first quarter. Northwestern started the scoring, but they've been scoreless for 8 minutes now.
This Northwestern offense has to continue to give each other space to dodge and operate, especially when you get the ball to Madison Taylor. You got to give her room to go.
.20 seconds left in the quarter. Nikki Miles a far away from goal. Working against Brooklyn Walker-Welsh, one of the best defenders in the country. Right on cue. Walker-Welsh pries it free. Northwestern battles for the ball back. Clock continues to run through the whistle. And that will do it for this first quarter. North Carolina, 3 straight goals. Northwestern scoreless for the final 8.5 minutes of that quarter as we are just getting started in our national championship clash.
Coach, scoreless for the last 8 minutes of the first quarter. How do you punch back on offense?
Just need to be more aggressive, play our offense, and, you know, just play with the will that we have inside of us. But I think it's just a little bit too passive right now, and they just got to get back to the basics.
Thank you.
All right, go Cats.
Only down 2 goals because Delaney Schweitzer, the goalkeeper, was terrific.
You can see her really exploding to the ball, making critical saves, maintaining the ball in the crease, not allowing those rebounds. Really impressed with her play so far. She knows this is her last collegiate game. Coming off that win against Boston College, she told us yesterday in practice, I played Boston College 8 times. I never won against them until Friday night. That's huge. That's like you take down that one of those monsters just propels you with confidence.
And she's no stranger to a big stage. She was a part of the NCAA All-Tournament team a year ago in the Final Four.
And it's surprising to see Northwestern get dominated at the draw to start this game. North Carolina has won 5 of the 6 draw controls we've seen.
Sophie Student has really done a great job developing throughout the season and developing chemistry with her unit for North Carolina at the draw control. But she's been able to control the ball so far in this one and dictate where she's placing the ball, and they're all on the same page.
Another one of those players that Dana highlighted in the Open that did not play last year. So just the injuries that took down this UNC team last year, they've come back healthy and so strong.
Osborne denied by Delaney Schweitzer. Wins it back though off the rebound, keeps it alive for North Carolina. Now 5 saves for Schweitzer. We were just talking about her heroics. Godine finds Ashley Humphrey. Feeds it back inside, and Marissa White fires it home.
Carolina starting strong to open this second quarter. Marissa White, she had bobbled a few of the possessions. This time she's able to connect. Godine gets it inside to Ashley Humphrey. She draws that double team and dishes it in. Her passing ability, Humphrey, has been absolutely amazing. Another record-breaking season for her. Love White. She has to catch that ball down by her kneecaps, brings it up, throws in the fake, and just that's where she has the patience. She's been great inside with the catch and release.
Tonight's Sunday night baseball matchup, the Dodgers and the Mets. Don't miss it, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, right here on ESPN. Oh, we just heard in between the first and second quarter from Northwestern's Hall of Fame head coach Kelly Amonte Hiller saying her team, what has gotten them to this point is their belief, their fight. How do they trigger that? Ignite it, Sheehan, down 4-1.
One, they realized, they know they've been down. They battled back. They were down 6-2 against Maryland in the Big Ten championships, came from behind and won. We saw what they did, the magic they brought, winning down 5 goals against Boston College Friday night. It starts with getting those possessions. Their defense has played strong. They need to attack the cage and take their time on the shots. They've gotten some good looks on net. 8 shots, they just need to convert better.
An opportunity on the 8-meter.
All the way in the back. 6 out. 6 all the way out, Blue. That's not out. That's just closer to her. Upright, please.
Passing off the 8-meter. We saw Northwestern do that a few times in the semifinal, not to go to goal off free positions.
Quick slide coming to Madison Taylor. That means someone's open on the backside.
Weaving in. This is the cage again. Still time on the shot clock, 35 seconds.
This is a Northwestern offense that loves to utilize the pick game on the elbows, on the wings. They like to use that 2-player game, cause miscommunication within a defense.
They did it just there to get Taylor the ball. A collision And this will earn Madison Taylor a free position where she has been so dynamic this season. 35% of her goals have come off the 8-meter.
So watch the block here. Kate Levy, 13. So this sets up Maddie Taylor on the 8-meter. She loves this hash. Left-handed player. Typically likes to run this in, attacks at full speed, heading to net.
The nation's leading scorer, charging in, denied. Didn't get a clean look. The collapse from Carolina was brilliant. And now the Tar Heels are off and running in transition.
What a strong stop. When Maddie Taylor hits the 8-meter, you can almost mark that down as a goal being scored. They did a great job of not fouling, not pushing her. And Betty Nelson comes up with the stop.
And not only is she the nation's leading scorer this season, but nobody in the history of the sport at the Division I level has scored more goals in a single season than 25 in black Madison Taylor. And she has been shut down so far in this first half. Here's Chloe Humphrey, the freshman phenom. Flips it off to fellow freshman Kate Levy. She scoots in, Levy. If that went, it would have been a spectacular goal.
Really nice take. I don't know how she was able to get her hands free.
Vergano. Shooting space was whistled before Vergano released it. So disregard the shot. It'll be Vergano, the lefty, who steps up now for a free position. Vergano, the Virginia Tech transfer, moved to North Carolina to play in games like these. National championships. Bouncer low. Delaney Schweitzer read it the whole way.
She's been playing a high arc today. She's trying to take away the angle for the shooter. It makes it so difficult when you step up to take an 8-meter and you see a goalie playing a high arc because you don't see a lot of netting around them and you're not quite sure. It makes you second guess your plan of attack.
And Vergano with that bouncer that was also high in the crease. If a goalie's gonna play a high angle, you need to make a better bouncer closer to the goal line or shoot around them. Oftentimes they bait you. It's weird as a shooter when you see a goalie come out, you almost shoot into them. There's just a natural reaction. You just have to take that extra time. I'd like to see Northwestern offensively really move the ball a little bit quicker. Don't get it stuck in anyone's stick. Pass, move, try to dodge and look, but kind of rotate. Now the double team is here. Somebody's open. Where are they? Got to get to space.
And as the double team goes, Sheehan, they've got to spread out more because that's what makes the slides longer and it makes it more difficult to recover.
And Taylor draws contact again.
That's one of the reasons you want to try to attack and go to cage hard because you're going to draw those fouls. So Maddie Taylor's in the inside. She's going to get placed now on the center hash mark.
And you know she wants to atone for her failed free position just a moment ago.
She's so good at running it in, but she may want to release this a little bit sooner before the defense is able to collapse on her.
One-on-one with Betty Nelson. Nelson got a piece of it and keeps it out.
The goalies have absolutely come to play in this matchup. Betty Nelson's 5th save, and it's right dead center. Madison Taylor, the nation's leading goal scorer, staring her down.
She's usually automatic from there.
And I loved her mix-up. She did exactly what we just were talking about. She released that a little bit sooner, so she's making the adjustments, but you have to give credit to the goalies. Maddie Taylor 0 for 3 on her shots, does have an assist on Northwestern's only goal. But, you know, the good thing is, as a shooter, and I don't know, Charlotte, you didn't really miss that much, so I don't know if you can relate to this. But if you're being shut down, the key is making sure you have shots. It's more frustrating if you can't get a good look, if you can't get the ball in your stick, if you don't have shots on cage. As long as you're shooting, you know that they're going to eventually fall. So for her, the great news is that she's getting those opportunities.
And you've got to have a quick memory.
The Humphrey sister connection. Ashley to Chloe. For the 30th time this season, the two sisters connect, and this time they do it on the sport's biggest stage.
Ashley Humphrey ties her own record that she set in 2022, NCAA single season assists, now at 88, but it starts with Betty Nelson's save right in the center. And this is what makes Ashley Humphrey such an elite passer. She could have shot that ball. She catches the ball on the wing, takes a second, she draws two, and then she knows her sister is constantly working on the interior to find an opening to present her stick. The two-handedness of younger sister Chloe Humphrey allows her to be that threat off ball, no matter where the open space is. But it's the veteran play, the IQ, and the patience of Ashley Humphrey, both Tewaaraton finalists.
The Tewaaraton, which goes to the nation's best player, Madison Taylor for Northwestern, nominated as well. So 3 of the 5 finalists in this national championship game.
We talked with Ashley Humphrey this week, and you know, she was giving a lot of credit to her teammates. She said, I have had great assists. In particular, my first year and now my last year here at UNC, but it's the players around me. She said, a pass is just a pass until somebody puts it in the back of the net. And I thought that was so clear. I mean, but the key is the players around her know that she will dish them the ball if they're open and they get in the space that they can score.
And a lot of that comes with trust. And trust is built with repetition over the entire season. But the rules are different for her younger sister, who can catch just about anything on the inside with both her right and her left hand.
What's interesting too about Ashley's game is that, yes, as an attacker, you watch film on the defense, but she watches film on her team's tendencies to be able to pass the ball in space before the attackers get there. That's next level.
And here's Chloe.
Great clear out, but it just took a little too long to set that up. Northwestern was able to already set the slide, so she wasn't able to get a good look.
What's amazing about the Humphrey sisters is there's a 3-year age gap between Ashley and Chloe, so they've never played organized lacrosse together. They played a lot in the backyard growing up in Connecticut, but this is the first season they've actually been able to compete in games together, and it has been a special season.
I feel like they kept saying it's just a dream come true. This is what they have dreamed about. Ashley and Chloe in the stands when Nicole won the national championship with the Tar Heels in 2022, dreaming that they could one day be part of this. And now they're on the biggest stage.
And they are rolling right now. Northwestern, more than 15 minutes without a goal. It's allowed Carolina to score 5 unanswered. Looking for more here. And Eliza Osborne, another freshman who has been phenomenal this season. 33 goals to her name. Steps up for a free position.
Talk about the depth of this North Carolina team. A lot of that comes in the midfield, and you can see the way they're trying to set up Osborne for her dodging opportunities.
Osborne does not come from a lacrosse hotbed. Castle Rock, Colorado went to Valor Christian, but they're no stranger to producing star-studded players. Christian McCaffrey, a Valor Christian grad. Great save by Schweitzer. Delaney Schweitzer, Sheehan, is keeping Northwestern in this game.
I think she's done a phenomenal job just making those stops. A few of them have bounced out. Sammy White had her back there coming up with the ground ball. Really impressive. 8 save.
And Northwestern trailing by 4, but where would they be without Delaney Schweitzer's 8 saves?
She had 8 saves in that Boston College game in all 4 quarters. I mean, we are halfway through the second quarter. She's already put up 8 saves.
How do you ignite this offense, Charlotte?
You've got to continue to draw double teams, and a lot of that starts with Madison Taylor, but you've got to set yourself up with space to operate.
Right on cue! Northwestern needed that. Nearly 17 minutes without a goal, and finally, there's a breakthrough for the Wildcats.
Taylor LaPointe perfectly executes the 2-player game on the wing. She slips right off as the double team jumps, steps in, rips.
Here's the thing about the Hall of Famer Kelly Amonte Hiller, Northwestern head coach. Trailing by 3 in a national championship game. Her teams can be down, but they are never out. We said it at the end of that 3rd quarter of the semifinal. They were down 11-6, scored 6 unanswered in that 4th quarter to win. So they will not be phased by just a 3-goal deficit.
Well, they seem to almost rally around being down, and they have been saying all week long, we love the hard fight. They want to be in this grind. They want to claw back. It's got to give them a huge amount of confidence that they were able to claw back in that fourth quarter, and it started with possessions, winning the draw control. So every 50-50 ball, and especially winning these draw controls, are going to be huge. UNC still with the edge, 5 draw controls to Northwestern's 3.
And she and the draw was the igniting factor for the Wildcats. They won 9 final draw controls in the semifinal game. So they're going to have to get that going.
And they're going against Sophie Student, who's done a really nice job placing it. This time she wins it to herself.
Well, you said it throughout that semifinal game. There's not much you can do without the ball. You need possession. And North Carolina has dominated the possession thus far in the first half.
And there's plenty of times, if you are struggling winning the draw control, then you need to figure out ways that you can manufacture extra possession. So whether that's with goalie saves, we've seen Delaney Schweitzer come up with some excellent stops, or defensive takeaways, coming up with the 50-50 balls, the run-outs on the shots. Figure out a way to get the ball in your stick.
Number 18, Ashley Humphrey, is operating at the top of the 8-meter arc, trying to use that face guard as a pick.
They clear it out for Chloe, goes lefty. Schweitzer makes another save, 5th save of the quarter, 9th in this first half for Delaney Schweitzer. Sammy White goes down, contact but no call. North Carolina number, Schweitzer out of her cage. What a back check! Jane Hansen to the rescue. What a play is that by the veteran defender, Jane Hansen. That just saved a goal.
One of the best back checkers in the game. She's got elite speed. She can run you down. She actually prefers almost when players beat you, because when they expose your stick, she's going to come for it. A clean check. Great job. That was an almost 100% certain goal, and Hansen does not give up on the play. It's why you just want to get a stick to deflect that shot. Monster play by Jane Hansen.
A homecoming for Jane Hansen. She's from Cohasset, Massachusetts. Really close to Foxborough, but she's been one of the best takeaway defenders that we've seen this season.
The speed from Emerson Bowling. Perfectly executed again in the clear. Riley Campbell, no angle, passes it back to Madison Taylor, trying to throw it into Aditi Foster.
It's just a little too crowded in there. I like the quick movement, but when you feed it inside, you need to make sure that you really get a good target and look inside to force that pass.
And when you're not coming up with possessions, you want to be sure when your offense gets the ball to be patient and not go on the first look.
We've seen different teams try to put face guards on UNC all season long. With the last couple of meetings, they've actually opted to pull the person being face guarded completely out. This time, they're using Ashley Humphrey to set picks, work on the inside, not pulling her out completely out of the play.
Osborne, and again, Jane Hansen. She's putting on a defensive masterclass right now. Back-to-back caused turnovers for Northwestern. This Wildcats defense, they are dialed in. They are keeping Northwestern in it. They need to get something going on the offensive end.
Hansen was the MVP of that Big Ten tournament where Northwestern won the title over Maryland earlier this season. You can see why. The relentless pursuit of the ball, even after losing positioning.
She had 5 caused turnovers in the Big Ten tournament semifinals and championship. Tore ACL back in 2022, 6-year player, and she spoke yesterday at practice just about how thankful she was to be part of this team and has been a big-time leader.
Here's Nikki Miles trying to muscle her way in. The rebound falls to Madison Taylor. Taylor scoreless, the nation's leading scorer with a record 109 goals. Been kept in check, only 3 shots, she's missed them all. And another pass that gets deflected in the air, and North Carolina can run in transition.
She had Nikki Miles open. I think she should have pushed that around the perimeter more and then into the inside. A little bit too much forcing the ball into the center, and Carolina coming up with those key possessions. they're sending that double team really early to Maddie Taylor, and she will look to pass when she is double teamed. I'd like to see her take it. She has great stick protection skills. Not force it. If the person is open, dish it to them, but it seems like she's trying to force it too much to people that are covered.
And a lot of times when you have the role that Maddie Taylor does for that offense, you do your job by just drawing the double team. So it's on the rest of the unit to be in those passing lanes, to have better spacing to set up for backside scoring opportunities.
Rings off the pipe, inches away from Osborne. Crease violation as Schweitzer started to clear.
Schweitzer likes to come out of her cage. We've seen her up at the 50-yard line.
This North Carolina offense is relying a lot on Eliza Osborne. She's the ACC Freshman of the Year, but they're relying on her to start the offense from a dodging perspective up top.
A lot is made about North Carolina's offense, #1 scoring offense in the country, and for good reason, but the defense is also the #1 scoring defense in the country. They allow less than 7 goals per game, and it's a defensive masterpiece once again in this first half.
They're so athletic. They chase you. They execute double teams. They wait for the check.
Their pressure is just perfectly timed, and Northwestern has struggled with it. 7 turnovers, only 2 goals. Can they find something here? Inches away. That rings off the pipe on a bouncer. 2 pipes in 2 minutes in this championship game.
Kylie Motais, the captain. Great ground ball that sparks transition. This is where Carolina's dangerous.
Sam Forrest, the All-American defender. That pass a little behind Marissa White. Gives the ball back to Northwestern with a minute remaining in this first half. What do you want to see on this offensive possession, Charlotte?
Better spacing. They're getting Madison Taylor involved with the pick game on the elbows, but the double team's coming so early that you don't need the pick. You need to work on the backside to generate better opportunities to dodge on recovering defenders once Madison Taylor moves the ball.
A little crowded. The slide is coming too easily. They've got to create more space, cutting through, even overload. Work your 2-man game, the pick game on the opposite side, but got to create a lane to get to cage, and then maybe draw the foul or draw the slide, and then you dish.
Carolina with 10 seconds left to this first half. Can they increase their lead? Kaylee Harden, a hard foul, and that will stop the clock.
No contact made, but that's going to be a yellow card for the slash, a dangerous check. If you're going and running and with all your might, you do a check that goes from your head down to your feet, even if you don't make contact, that can be a yellow card. So player up opportunity for Carolina. Riley Campbell will be sidelined for up to 2 minutes. It's releasable on a score. If Carolina holds possession of this, they will restart the third quarter with possession with no draw. So I anticipate that they will just try to hold on to possession.
And North Carolina will move to the second half with a 3-goal lead and on the power play. So there will be no draw. North Carolina will start with the ball in possession, woman up. Coming up at halftime, you'll get a preview of a Memorial Day tradition, the NCAA Division I Men's Lacrosse National Championship. John Tillman and Connor Busick will be on set, the 2 head coaches. Tillman, a Memorial Day staple, the Maryland head coach, and Connor Busick trying to win Cornell's first title since the 1970s. Looking forward to that conversation as North Carolina heads into the locker rooms in the driver's seat with a 3-goal lead. Oh, that was an awesome preview of the men's championship, which will be here tomorrow. Foxborough, 1 Eastern time on ESPN. We're getting ready to start the second half in the women's national championship. And it's the goalies that have stolen the show, Sheehan.
Delaney Schweitzer has stood so strong, coming high out on the crease, stuffing some shots, coming up with some key takeaways. 9 saves in that first half. This is her last collegiate game, and she wants that trophy, trying to will this Northwestern team back.
Betty Nelson showing she can do the same, reading the ball so well in transition, remaining patient on her line, not baiting on any of this deception that's been added by the Wildcat offense. She's allowed this Tar Heels offense to have a majority of possession.
Yeah, all this offensive firepower, and yet it's the goalkeepers and defenders like Sam Forrest who has done an incredible job on Madison Taylor. No goals for Madison Taylor, only 2 for Northwestern as a team. 15 combined saves and only 7 combined goals. That tells the story.
Well, especially this Northwestern team has been shooting 46% on the season, now just held to 2 goals on 13 shots. So the halftime comes at a perfect time just to reset for both of these teams.
Now there's no draw control to start this second half because North Carolina finished the first half on the power play. So UNC starts with the ball, woman up. Big opportunity to swing momentum if you're Northwestern and can get a power play kill here, woman down. Ashley Humphrey finds Marissa White. Schweitzer got it with her foot. Delaney Schweitzer picks up where she left off. Sam Smith thinking about going to goal shorthanded. She was on her way there, dispossessed. Northwestern wins it back with Nikki Miles.
That was an unbelievable kick save. Marissa White was left wide open on the inside, executing the power play unit, but it was a kick save for Schweitzer.
You want your goalie to make the saves that they need to make, but she is stealing some of those saves, really using her body well, reading the angles.
Speaking with Kelly Amonte-Hiller coming out of halftime, she said just that. She and defense is doing their job, but the onus needs to be on the offense to take care of the ball. They're getting the possession, but oftentimes it's empty. It's a turnover. They need to be more responsible on the offensive end when they have the ball.
And we've seen some of those feeds inside that have resulted in turnovers. So taking their time, and as Kelly Amonte-Hiller told you, Dana, just going back to the basics, just the little things.
This Tar Heels defense is pressing out extremely far. They are player up, so they're able to do that without taking too much risk.
So the power play will expire. It's still 30 seconds to work with for Northwestern. Plenty of time to get a goal.
Maddie Taylor held scoreless, 109 goals on the season. The second leading goal scorer is Nikki Miles with 42. There's players that can score in this Northwestern team, but Maddie Taylor usually starts the offense. She was working hard, she was trying to get the ball. Luckily, comes up with the ground ball.
Not much time though. Shot clock down to 12. Taylor scoots in, triple teamed, stolen away. Ellie Traggio.
This North Carolina defense collapses so well together.
Chloe Humphrey calling for it. She gets it. Already 2 goals today for the freshman.
Talk about the little things with the defense, Sheehan. They're always able to see ball and girl. They're timing their slides to Madison Taylor, but it's not just the first player going as that help defender to double team Maddie Taylor. It's the second layer of that, the next slide to cover ground and make it extremely hard to see anything on the backside.
Here's Chloe Humphrey. Splits 2, draws the foul, and Chloe Humphrey earns herself a free position, and a yellow card comes out against Northwestern.
Officials are going to call that check. I believe it made stick to head contact. Let's take a look here. Chloe Humphrey goes hard. Yeah, the stick goes into that face, head and neck area. Gonna be a yellow card. We'll set Chloe Humphrey up.
When you're sliding to ball, you have to make sure you slide to space, and you cannot lead with your stick, especially in the head and neck area.
Delaney Schweitzer, Northwestern's goalkeeper, does have 3 of her 10 saves off North Carolina free positions. Play has been blown dead before Humphrey could charge in.
So it looks like we are going to be stopping for a review. Kelly Imani Hiller looking at the iPad. You can review cardable fouls or goal scoring plays.
The one replay we saw, it didn't look like this could be overturned.
Let's take a look. She goes hard. It's going to be the stick that goes to the face. To me, that looks like she's leading with her stick and goes in Chloe Humphrey's face. The calling on the field was a card.
And they're looking at if they made contact with the head and neck area. From this angle, it's hard to see if it's contact with her shoulder and arm or that stick makes contact. It looks like she makes contact with her goggles.
So what Northwestern could be arguing is that it's a foul, but not a card. And either way, Chloe Humphrey's going to end up with a free position, but if it could save them a yellow card, that is critical.
That would be critical. Now, the issue is that yellow cards are subjective to the official's discretion. So if you make contact with the head, it is an automatic yellow card, whether that was incidental or not. But a lot of the checks, even if they're high, can be a yellow card, or if they're too aggressive going into the hip area. So the call on the field was a yellow card. It's got to be indisputable evidence to overturn that. I don't see that.
Let's get the call.
After review, the call on the field stands. It is confirmed for a yellow card.
Kelly Imani Hiller not happy with it. So now a decision for Chloe Humphrey, the freshman phenom. Record-breaking production this season. Most goals in a season in North Carolina history. Most goals ever scored by a freshman in the history of the sport. So do you go to goal or do you pass out? Because you're on the power play for 2 minutes, so you can run the clock down.
If I'm Chloe Humphrey, I'm taking this. You're on the center hash mark. You want to score. Goals are important. You're not taking your foot off the gas. But I can see that utilizing time could be beneficial. But if I'm her, I'm going to cage.
And she does. Schweitzer there to meet it. 11 saves for Delaney Schweitzer. The veteran goalkeeper single-handedly keeping Northwestern in this national championship. Sam Smith goes shorthanded and scores! What a swing of momentum! A shorthanded goal for Northwestern. And it all started with Schweitzer.
Schweitzer is stealing these saves. Chloe Humphrey mixes up her shot, but this time she goes high. Schweitzer reads it, and this is just perfection. Good explosion step. She keeps it in the goal circle, which is key. Quick clear out, and Sam Smith, the gamer of all gamers, Kelly Imani Hiller's words, takes it down and scores. Switch to the hands and just delivers a much-needed goal and brings this within 2.
Sam Smith has been the X factor for this Northwestern Wildcats team. She's a veteran out of the midfield. She does it on the draw, but she does it on the offensive end as well. She has been the catalyst for so much this season.
Scored the game-winning goal in the semifinal win against Boston College. Scores what could be a momentum-shifting goal. The save to deny the power play goal and then to go full field shorthanded and score. And North Carolina does win the draw, so the Tar Heels a good chance to immediately answer, still woman up for another 90 seconds.
What a swing. Now that's a reason why you wouldn't take the shot. I still think it was a good idea for Chloe Humphrey to take that shot, but Northwestern was able to really capitalize. Now I think on this possession, you just want to look for a good opportunity. Now don't pass up good looks to cage, but wait for a really high percentage look.
Ashley Humphrey, 3 assists today, looking for a 4th. Schweitzer to the rescue again.
Unbelievable composure by Delaney Schweitzer. It appears that nothing is phasing her. She's not biting for anything.
Vergano feeds it in. From in close, Chloe Humphrey. It's a hat trick. A record-breaking season continues for the freshman, Chloe Humphrey. She has 3 of Carolina's 6 goals in this championship game.
Playing her best lacrosse when it matters most. Watch the way she steps into the gap right here. She knows that she has a sliver of space on the inside, but she doesn't cut out of the 8 meter. She stays right in that pocket and handles the pressure, takes a step back, feels the defense, and finishes it. So tough. She is so versatile in the way that she plays offense. She can beat you off the dodge, but she's constantly working when the ball is not in her stick, and that's what I think separates her.
Very high level of difficulty. Wanted the catch, just to get anything that's thrown in there, it seems like it's a magnet to her stick. She's able to control it, but getting that separation with the step back and the finish, and here's a key draw control won by Maddie Taylor. Already double team on Taylor. This time she forces through. She's gonna draw that foul.
Taylor still scoreless. She's been incredible, not just this season, but in particular in this NCAA tournament. 20 goals through 3 games, scoreless today.
Northwestern's got to help her out. They've got to clear out space. The double team is too easy to come. They're already sending it early, but they need to give her more room to go to cage.
And as the double team collapses, she's got to step off to be able to make a pass to whoever is open.
Lucy Monroe on the run. Finds Taylor. And now Taylor LaPointe gets free. A good look. Couldn't finish it. And North Carolina wins the run out closest to the ball.
Big time when defense can get those extra possessions, running it out. Typically, you have an offensive player behind there to run it out. But when the defense can get a step, that's another momentum-changing play.
And that was the look, Sheehan, for this Wildcat offense. Taylor was able to get it all going and get the defense to spin, but it was Taylor LaPointe who was dodging on the unsettled defense.
Delaney Schweitzer has already tied her season high with 12 saves. We're not even midway through this 3rd quarter.
Coming off that great performance against Boston College when BC was battling back. Northwestern had the 1-goal lead and they looked to tie it, and she stood strong on her pike to come up with a game-winning save in those final seconds. That was a crazy end to a finish on Friday night's semifinal game.
Jane Hansen, another cause turnover for Northwestern. The Wildcats defense, their goalie Schweitzer dialed in. Can they get some consistency on the offensive end? Only 3 goals, 1 per quarter. They're gonna need more than that, Charlotte.
I'd like to see them set up more isolation dodging on the right elbow with their right-handed players, because that sets up Madison Taylor, the lefty, on the backside, and she'll have more opportunities as the defense starts to spin.
Sam Forrest doing an excellent job on Maddie Taylor.
Sam Smith dispossessed. The North Carolina answers with a defensive stand of their own.
Avery Roberts does an excellent job timing on the check, coming up with the ground ball.
There was so much offensive firepower on the field. 2 star-studded offenses. I didn't know if we expected what has really turned into a defensive battle.
This is not what I expected. The goalie play has been sensational. Defensive stops.
Coming out of the box, Kaylee Harden puts on the brakes and resets.
This is the patience that this offense has that sets up these high percentage opportunities. They wait to set up the dodging lane that they like the best.
Humphrey flips it to Vergano on the run, blows it by Schweitzer. It's an absolute flamethrower from Olivia Vergano. A lefty hammer for Vergano's 38th goal of the season.
Vergano, when she gets time and room, she generates the power, the sidearm rip, top corner, UNC up 7-3.
All season long, it's been the Humphrey sisters headlining this North Carolina team. Growing up in Darien, Connecticut, Chloe Humphrey, the youngest, following in the footsteps of Ashley and Nicole. And they have put on a show in the national championship.
You know, stepping up to the brightest lights, not being deterred as a first-year player. Chloe Humphrey scoring, Ashley Humphrey, just such a dominant leader, the grad student. First time the three sisters have ever played together. You can see they've got a ton of fans.
What a moment for that family. And Ashley Humphrey has now broken her own record that she set in 2022. She's got 89 assists. That is a single season record for the NCAA.
And 30 of those 89 going to her younger sister, Chloe. And it's funny, they said it's not possible without Nicole, the oldest sister who played in the 2022 national championship for North Carolina, which they won. Ashley and Chloe were in the stands for that game, and they looked at each other and they said, we got to go to North Carolina and we've got to go play for national championships. It looks too fun.
And it all just worked out. Ashley had started her career at Stanford, played in that system for 2 years, transferred over to UNC, but last year was not able to play with Chloe because Chloe was sidelined with an injury. And Nicole Humphrey, she had her own journey, played at UNC, won that championship, then transferred over to USC, but she's battled injuries, and she came back to UNC, and even throughout this season has battled a foot injury, but scored a huge goal. They all were able to celebrate Friday night with all three sisters combining for a great performance. You look at the parents, they've got to be so proud. John and Sarah Humphrey.
Speaking with the three sisters this week, she and Chloe and Ashley told me that oftentimes they go to Nicole as a voice of reason, so they communicate with her often on the sidelines, coming off in practices. She's the voice of reason, the big sister.
They come from a high school powerhouse not too far away, Darien, Connecticut. Elisa Lindley, their head coach, in the crowd tonight. 19 state championships. So that championship pedigree instilled to them at the high school level, and obviously has carried to North Carolina, which has its own championship pedigree.
Well, Lisa Lindley, also the coach of Shea Dolce, the goalkeeper of Boston College. So to be able to see your former players on this stage, I mean, that's such a powerhouse program, but being part of that development.
Good point. To have one high school produce 3 of 5 Tewaaraton finalists, which goes to the nation's best player. Coming out of the timeout, tons of pressure, and Northwestern steals it away.
And who else but Jane Hansen, who does it again.
Madison Taylor looking for something in transition. Sam Forrest is there. Simultaneous whistle. That's a good goal for Northwestern in transition. Lucy Monroe, who scored the first goal in the fourth quarter comeback in the semifinal, notches a goal there. Could be a shot in the arm for this Wildcats team.
Jane Hansen has been wreaking havoc on the defensive end and in transition for this Northwestern team. She has blazing speed after she perfectly times that takeaway check. And then it's Lucy Monroe who finds the off-ball seam in transition when they have numbers. Madison Taylor has been facing the ultimate amount of pressure from Sam Forrest, but she's able to handle it and dish in the chaotic, broken down play. Jane Hansen has been a game changer. 4 caused turnovers in this championship game.
And I love her IQ on that play because she had a full head of steam. You could see her trying to push transition. We actually saw her in their practice yesterday win the shooting competition, so she can go to cage and score, but that's not her role. And she just followed it perfectly, got it to a better position player to score. But her calls, turnover, takeaways, they're so clean. In this sport of women's lacrosse, it's hard to make a clean check without a whistle, and she does it perfectly.
And that was coming out of a North Carolina called timeout. So the Tar Heels actually gave Northwestern an opportunity to double team the ball and create that turnover, which led to the goal.
And Northwestern has made a change at the draw. Nikki Miles taking that latest draw. Sam Smith was actually on the circle.
Look at this fight.
Sammy White keeps it inbounds. Remember, we're playing the yellow lines today, not the white line. You can go over that white line as long as you don't touch the yellow. Sammy White did just that to keep possession for the Wildcats. Good save, Betty Nelson. Battle for the rebound. Nelson shoved. And it's going to be Tar Heels possession.
Betty Nelson's played strong, like her coming outside the cage, also trying to play.
That's her first save of this second half after making 6 of them in the first half.
Ashley Humphrey still being face guarded. Now UNC is electing to keep her outside of the play, not on your screen right now. This opens up the playing field for the rest of the Carolina offense. Gives a lot more room.
When you play 6-on-6 against a man-to-man defense, you've got, Sheehan, to your point, more room to operate, more room to dodge, and the slides become longer for the defense.
Now, Tar Heels head coach Jenny Levy advocated for a rule change that would make the sport 6 versus 6 instead of 7 versus 7. Getting that here. Kate Levy. Schweitzer the save. A season high 13 saves for Delaney Schweitzer on the sport's biggest stage.
You can see she's feeling it. That was a beautiful stop. Again, coming out high on that crease area. Hard swiping check, doesn't get called. But Schweitzer really reading the angles well, frustrating this #1 offense of UNC.
North Carolina averages 17.5 goals per game, held at 7 right now. The good news is their defense has been dialed in from the start. Northwestern only 4 goals against this suffocating Tar Heels defensive pressure.
This Tar Heels defense extends out so far. They trust their 1v1 defense.
Bowling's got speed, has it here, 45 in black. Kate Levy keeping up with her. And steals it away. Kate Levy, the freshman. She's had a phenomenal national championship game, and that is the 11th caused turnover by this North Carolina defense.
She had a great goal, leads this team in calls turnovers, and we were giving a lot of credit to Jane Hansen. That was an expertly crafted takeaway by Kate Levy, the freshman.
You got Madison Taylor trapped on defense.
And we've got an offsides call now on Northwestern.
And the official saying Lucy Monroe was the last one to come over.
So this will be a 1-minute player up opportunity for North Carolina because of the offsides.
North Carolina launches into the power play, a 3-goal lead with under 3 minutes to play in this third quarter. The Northwestern has to break out of their face guard against Ashley Humphrey. Woman down here.
Smart handle by Mo Tice not to take that shot, maintain possession, really getting the defense rotating and spinning.
Bergano in attack mode. Sends it back to Ashley Humphrey. Tried to go up top to Mo Tice. Too much on it. Stays in.
Great play. Those players behind the restraining line can have their sticks go over the line, but they can't have their feet. Nice bat back to the Tar Heels.
Chloe Humphrey tried to spin her way free there, right on the crease. Foul called, but now Northwestern can go back to even strength.
Bergano heads up play, but Northwestern the fight.
A collision in the corner. It'll stay Carolina's ball. Under 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Here's Kaylee Harden with a head of steam. Spins into a double team. Passes out of it through contact. Fed inside. Delaney Schweitzer there to meet it again. 14 saves for Delaney Schweitzer.
That was a perfectly timed double team by Sammy White, and she was collapsing into the double on Harden very cleanly, playing her angles well. That rushed the decision-making to generate that shot for Godine. Schweitzer read it all the way.
North Carolina with some missed opportunities woman up today. The Tar Heels are 0 for 4 on the power play.
This is a Tar Heel team that's been averaging almost 18 goals per game, so a lot of credit to Northwestern and Delaney Schweitzer in cage. Northwestern, it's all about spacing. I think they need better looks. I'd love to see them do some more dodging, go to cage hard, but then the open players need to present themselves in a space where they can receive the pass and get a good look.
Right here, the double is here on Madison Taylor. They've got to become options for her.
Tried to feed it to Nikki Miles, couldn't connect, and it's another empty possession for Northwestern.
The person that's being left open needs to be waving their stick and presenting it. It looked like Emerson Bolig was open up top. If she needs to get herself in a position where she can receive the ball and then pass. It's not the pass inside first, it's gonna be what's called the next pass. You pass it, you swing it, and then you get it inside.
Jenny Levy of North Carolina, a 3-goal lead headed into the fourth quarter. Northwestern trying to rescue it. We saw a fourth quarter comeback from them in the semifinals. Could they do it again?
Welcome back to Foxborough. North Carolina leads the Wildcats 7-4. I'm joined by head coach of North Carolina, Jenny Levy. Coach, you get the feeling this game is far from over. How do you close out the fourth quarter?
I mean, you just got to keep playing. We need to finish our shots. Both defenses are playing really well. Both goalies are playing really well. It's a championship game, and it's far from over, definitely.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, yeah.
The Hall of Fame head coach says far from over, and here's why. Northwestern was down 5 goals, 11-6 to start the fourth quarter against Boston College in the semifinals Friday night. The Wildcats roared back to win it 12-11, a 6-0 fourth quarter. Can they replicate it?
It was remarkable. They've got to bring that energy and passion. It started with winning possessions, and they were able to string it together. You could feel the shift. They turned on the Jets. This is going to be key.
And a big part of that was the draw control, but Nikki Miles is taking the draw now for the Wildcats. It was Sam Smith in the semifinal. We've got a change here in the fourth quarter.
Which is huge. You got to make those adjustments. When things aren't working, possession is everything right now in these final 15 minutes. Sophie Student, excellent job winning that draw to herself. One-handed, the control, the wrist strength.
So North Carolina begins this final quarter of our national championship in the driver's seat. A 3-goal lead. You can't play conservatively, though, if you're the Tar Heels, Sheehan. You got to keep your foot on the gas, right?
Yes, you cannot let go. They watch this. They know what this Northwestern team is capable of doing. So I think it's playing smart, making better passes, shooting more precisely. You hear Jenny Levy talking about it, finishing their shots or going against Delaney Schweitzer, who's very hot. Got to shoot around it. We've got a player running off the field.
Looks like another broken stick. Second time we've seen this in this game.
The shaft is bent. Backup stick being thrown right in. And that doesn't happen a ton, but definitely can happen. That's why you have multiple sticks. But 2 in one game, I don't know if I've seen that in a long time.
A physical battle between these two. When they met in the regular season, a combined 55 total fouls in that game. 2 heavyweights.
And when you're bending a shaft, jamming it against somebody else, I think you're putting a lot of contact in there. So
yes.
These players able to withstand a lot of the physicality.
Delaney Schweitzer has kept Northwestern in it. The goalkeeper with a season high 14 saves. The freshman couldn't connect there. Kate Levy and Eliza Osborne.
This North Carolina offense is relying on Osborne and Levy a lot from up top to initiate off the dodge.
3 freshmen on the field right now for North Carolina. One of them here, Chloe Humphrey, going against the veteran Sammy White. 5 seconds to shoot. Chloe in attack mode, on the run, releases it right as the shot clock expires. This is going to be very close. The officials have already said they will initiate a video review to see if the ball left Chloe Humphrey's stick. Now, it doesn't need to be in the back of the net before zeros, but it does need to be out of the stick.
Has to be released by that. Exactly right, Jay.
This is going to be very close.
She just can will herself to cage.
And right there, the ball is still in her stick.
So smart play call by the officials to look at that.
That would have been Humphrey's 4th goal. But what we just showed you is that that ball is in her stick and there was a 0 on the shot clock.
This comes down to milliseconds. That was milliseconds away from being out of her stick in time.
This is a critical goal, though, if you're Northwestern or North Carolina. One extending that lead for Carolina, but Northwestern try to keep them off the board to start the 4th quarter. Watch it's still in her stick, it's 0. Ball is still there clearly in the pocket. Great look, but beautiful take. I mean, she still gets the momentum. You make a shot like that, that just gets you fired up. Also gets fouled on that play with the extension of arm. But you can see Delaney Schweitzer, she's on the ground saying that's no goal, that's no goal. She's looking at the shot clock on the other end of the field.
Getting that much power behind a shot with that much pressure on you as you're dodging over the top is ridiculously hard. Handling the physicality, still able to get a lot of heat behind it from mid-range on the run.
While we wait for the call, opportunity to remind everybody, a terrific weekend of lacrosse finishes tomorrow, a Memorial Day tradition, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, right here on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Foxborough has served as a great home for championship weekend. Love to have the men and the women playing together on the same weekend. So the call is overturned, no goal. I want to go back to what we just flashed up. We have a record.
I was gonna say.
A national championship attendance record right here at Gillette Stadium. Awesome.
You can feel the energy. It's been great watching the fans come in the stands. There's a lot of fans for these 4 teams that have been here this weekend for the women, but also I'm seeing a lot of the men's fans here repping their own gear.
It's been an all-out lacrosse party in Foxborough, Massachusetts. This is the 3rd day out of 4, and it's going to be capped off with what is anticipated to be a great matchup tomorrow between Cornell and Maryland.
The environment's been electric. I mean, we came onto campus here and we saw all the tailgating happening yesterday as we were headed to the women's practices. Kids walking down the highway in all their gear. Penn State had a airplane flying with VR Penn State over the stadium. It was so much fun. You could feel the energy. And today, you can hear the fans just getting behind their teams. It's a great weekend for lacrosse. And the rain has finally stopped also, which has been a magnificent.
1 versus 2 on the men's side tomorrow. Cornell and Maryland. Right now, we're in the 4th quarter of the Women's National Championship. The ACC champs, North Carolina, the Big Ten champs, Northwestern. And Madison Taylor, the nation's leading scorer, has it here, 25 in black, still scoreless. Feeds it inside. Great look. Stuffed on the doorstep. Betty Nelson says no.
That was almost a carbon copy of the game-winning goal from the semifinal matchup. Sam Smith is operating on the backside, patiently waiting to expose the gap.
And that was a great pass. They've been caught in trouble feeding that into when it's too crowded inside. Sam Smith was wide open, but credit Betty Nelson coming up with that save.
Northwestern, they've gotten some great looks in this second half. They just can't find that finishing touch.
18 shots for Northwestern.
And only those 4 have found the back of the net.
Feels like North Carolina is trying to slow things down a little bit.
Here's Chloe Humphrey. Has a step. Schweitzer got a piece of it.
Look at all the space that North Carolina is giving Chloe Humphrey to operate. She can go from either wing, top center, behind the cage, off the dodge, but it's the spacing.
They go right back to Chloe. She feeds it, Kylie Motai. Schweitzer keeps it out again. Scramble for the rebound. Northwestern has it.
A lot of these shots are high. I think Carolina's got to mix up their shot placement. 16 saves, though, for Delaney Schweitzer.
By far and away, her best performance of the season.
And maybe her career. I mean, we've been watching her for a long time. This has been one of the most inspiring performances I've seen of the goaltender.
Nothing has fazed her today.
Well, Schweitzer and the defense have done their job. They are keeping North Carolina well under their season average of 17.5 goals. How can they generate some offense? They only have 4 goals. They're going to need to find 3 in the final 10 minutes and change.
As they continue to go to Madison Taylor, they've got to stretch the backside. An outlet pass needs to come to Madison Taylor to then connect to the next layer of offense. She can't do it all on her own.
Yeah, Charlotte, to your point, Kelly and Monty Hiller saying we can't be surprised. Madison Taylor's been getting the double team for the majority of the game. We have to help her out with the adjacents.
And they've got to be running to her, shaking their stick, presenting it so she can get them the ball.
The Wildcats have found themselves in another scoring drought. Now 11 minutes without a goal. Can they find one here? Pull one back, trailing by 3 with a national championship on the line. Lacasio sends it high to Taylor. On the run. Passes out of the double team.
Almost everyone on this offense is in the 8-meter. They need to stretch beyond the 12-meter arc to create dodging opportunities.
And create lanes, cut through. You're next to the ball, cut through.
Shot clock ticks under 10. Aditi Foster has to hurry. Shot clock down to 3. And Northwestern turns it over again. The empty possessions piling up in this championship game.
Talk about the 1v1 defense of North Carolina. Sam Forrest, Ellie Traggio, Brooklyn Walker-Welch. This is a unit that has evolved in terms of identity. In years past, we've seen North Carolina play more of a conservative man-to-man defense. Heels on the 8-meter, really trusting in their 1v1s, but not pressuring out so much. When we talked to head coach Jenny Levy earlier in the season, she said she's playing to the strengths of the athletes on the defense, so the identity has shifted a little bit under defensive coordinator Kayla Wood. They're leaning more into that high pressure on the perimeter.
And it's worked so well for them. They have frustrated offenses throughout this entire season with the really quick double teams, the working as a unit, and putting on the pressure. Great double team and good pass out of that.
Godin squeezes it to Osborne, who scores! And North Carolina takes a 4-goal lead.
Eliza Osborne is a fearless competitor, just a freshman. The number 6 overall recruit heading into North Carolina. Godin finds her on the back door. and she takes the high IQ shot placement away and low on the run. She is certainly not playing like a freshman.
Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings as teams compete for a combined $500,000 in student athlete scholarships from Capital One. And on the women's side, North Carolina right in the mix. A win today would certainly boost them up the standings even more. So many spring sports going around. It's championship season. If you're looking for the NCAA softball super regional game between Nebraska and Tennessee, that is starting over on ESPN News. What a goal! Osborne again! Eliza Osborne, 2 goals in 9 seconds. You can't do it any better than that.
Eliza Osborne is just smooth in transition. Been sensational getting with the draw control wins this year. Chipping in the offensive end, 35 goals. Picks this one up on the run. Her head is up. She's got great speed. Not much of an angle. This is outside that 8 meter. This time she paints the post.
Jan, I can't undersell her value to this team. Eliza Osborne was the X factor in that ACC championship game that North Carolina won. She has been all over the draw control circle and transition and even settled sets for this offense as just a freshman midfielder who logs a lot of minutes.
To me, Charlotte, that's the strength of this North Carolina team, specifically on the offensive end. When you have layers to your offense, yes, you initiate out of the midfield with Kate Levy and Eliza Osborne, yes, Chloe and Ashley Humphrey, but they're so dynamic that as a defense, that is so difficult to stop.
And right on cue, Osborne wins another draw control and forces Madison Taylor into a green card. So she runs off, and North Carolina goes on the power play here, woman up for a minute. And those 2 goals from Osborne, just 9 seconds apart, blows this game wide open. Huge difference for Northwestern, trailing by 3 to now trailing by 5.
Yeah, this is a difference maker, and with North Carolina just dominating on the draw control. And we spoke with Eliza and her role on the draw circle team, and she said it's all about the center person taking the draw control, that Sophie Student in particular, she just listens to wherever she tells her to go. She relies on that and puts herself in the right place at the right time. She's come up with some key possessions.
Vergano cashes in on the power play, and North Carolina is rolling.
Vergano, the transfer from Virginia Tech, is shining. She's got an outside hammer. This time she dodges on the unsettled recovering D, and she cans it from mid-range.
North Carolina, 3 goals in 46 seconds, and the Tar Heels are starting to separate in this 4th quarter.
Key possessions turning into scoreless ones. Scoring on the run. Northwestern, they just can't really get a break with North Carolina just piling on the goals. Look at the game summary. 16 saves, though, for Northwestern. Delaney Schweitzer, she's keeping them in this game. Still 7 minutes and 45 seconds. We saw how Northwestern could just pile on the scoring against Boston College coming from behind. They've got to attack it now. It starts with this possession.
And the message out of the Northwestern timeout, Sheehan, was just that. We need possession and we need the draw control.
Right on cue, they get the draw, they score the goal. Don't blink. 12-second immediate answer for Northwestern. And the Wildcats not backing down in this 4th quarter.
Lacrosse is a game of runs, and you can score in the blink of an eye. Madison Taylor handles the triple team, and Lucy Monroe presents herself above goal line extended. And right here, she takes an extra step towards the interior, giving her a better angle. But it all starts with building momentum at the draw. The Wildcats were able to come up with that one and immediately throw a punch.
And if you remember, Monroe started the comeback against Boston College in that fourth quarter. Northwestern had been held scoreless the entire third quarter. Within the first 15 seconds, Monroe scored, and it started the 6-goal run for Northwestern. She brought the spark. Now they needed to stop. Once again, need to rely on this Northwestern defense to come up with a save or takeaway.
It's still a very tall task for Northwestern. This Wildcats team has only scored 5 goals all game. They're going to need to find 5 goals in the final 7 minutes just to tie North Carolina. And the Tar Heels with a 5-goal lead, very comfortable killing this clock.
Caroline Godin so good handling the pressure from behind. Look at this isolation play. All the real estate for Chloe Humphrey. She's going to get, I think it's going to be a block or charge call.
It's a block going against Sammy White.
And it looked to me like a charge was my first impression. And usually, you can hear Kelly Amani Hiller on the sideline thinking that was a charge. I thought she had her positioning set.
It looked like she had her feet set. And they're going to go back to Humphrey in this same matchup.
3 seconds on 19 left.
And now they call 3 seconds against Sam Smith. That won't make the Northwestern bench any happier.
She was leaving to go be that help defender. You've got to get out of the 8-meter because you cannot remain in there for more than 3 seconds without guarding someone.
Chloe Humphrey winds up, lets it go, beats Schweitzer. The freshman delivers. Chloe Humphrey's 90th goal of the season. 4 of them coming today in the national championship, and Dad John is loving it in that Tar Heels fan section.
How can you not love that shot? Step and rip, it clocks in at 70 miles per hour. 90th goal this season. Breaking UNC scoring records as just a freshman. Step rip against Delaney Schweitzer that's had a spectacular day. All about power. She has just such an arsenal of different shots in her scoring regimen. She can take it in, dodge. Her release point is so quick. Sometimes with finesse. That one we saw with power. We've seen everything thrown at her. The face guard trying to deny her the ball.
Her toolbox is expansive, and she can do that with her right hand. She can also do that with her left hand. One of the most two-handed players in college lacrosse.
Kaylee Harden has just been doing an excellent job coming up with great ground balls, does all the little things.
And she spent the 2024 season, on the bench, on the sidelines, in a boot, watching so much lacrosse, she told me, watching film, watching other teams, shooters release.
You've got to learn a lot when you're on the sideline, and oftentimes injured players point to that. And she has come in this season not taking anything for granted.
Here's her older sister, Ashley, just misses the cage. In a championship game, you need your star players to shine. Chloe Humphrey, 4 goals today for North Carolina. Madison Taylor, shut out. And if she does not score in the final 5 minutes, will be her first scoreless game since 2023. 45 straight games with a goal. Osborne lets it rip. Kate Levy keeps North Carolina on possession. Trying to squeeze it into Chloe again, a foul call.
They'll get a hold on the defense, so this will set Humphrey up for an 8-meter. This Northwestern team had such a physical, draining game against Boston College, where it was relatively smooth sailing for North Carolina after that first quarter in their win against Florida. It looks a little bit like there's more legs that UNC has right now.
Humphrey through contact. Sammy White comes up with the ground ball for Northwestern. Wildcats running out of time, though, under 4 minutes and 30 seconds to go.
Sheehan, to your point, North Carolina was able to take a lot of their starters out of that game early in the second half.
Chloe Humphrey had 7 goals and didn't even play the fourth quarter.
Jane Hansen, the defender, stays on offense and scores. It would take a miracle for Northwestern to come back, but it starts with one.
It starts with one. It starts with connecting all units on the field. And in the blink of an eye, they go from defense to offense. Sammy White was able to collect the ball on the end line. And these defenders stay on. It's Mary Carroll connecting with Jane Hansen. Carroll holds on to it, draws 2. And I love that Hansen presented herself as a target, Sheehan.
Well, and I think she wanted that one. We saw early in the game, she had the cause turnovers, she took it to the offensive end, and she opted to pass, and I thought those were smart plays. Now she knows this is her last collegiate game. She needs to be the impact. You can see she wanted that ball, and then she delivers on the shot. Second goal this season for the 6-year player, second team All-American.
And another change for the Wildcats at the draw. Serafina DeMuno comes in.
It needs to be make it, take it the rest of the way for Northwestern if they're going to have a shot. And they get possession here. Time not on their side. Attack mode the rest of the way. Madison Taylor draws contact, no call. North Carolina has it.
Chloe Humphrey, we've talked about her scoring, but she's great with her defensive pressure coming up with the takeaway checks as well. Not only should she get the check, also the ground ball and possession.
Transition defense for North Carolina. They're relentless in the settled set. They're relentless in the ride. Always looking for opportunities to jump, doubles, trap their opponent, and come up with a check.
UNC has had 13 cause turnovers. That is really impressive. Chloe Humphrey getting that takeaway check. I expect for UNC to really maximize this possession. They still want to be looking for opportunities, but they know that they're going to have Northwestern have to be a little bit more aggressive. They need the ball back, so catch them running.
And you can see the Northwestern double team is going to everybody in desperation.
Right on the doorstep, Kylie Motice might have just secured another national championship for North Carolina. The Tar Heels doubling up Northwestern 12-6.
3 goals in the regular season meeting for Motice, but this starts with Chloe Humphrey. The takeaway check, that was nice, that was clean. And Motice, talk about throwing in some fakes. She takes her time, pump, 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 and score.
4 full days of lacrosse finishes with the men's lacrosse championship right here in Foxborough. 1 versus 2, Cornell and Maryland. Monday, 1 Eastern time, right here on ESPN. That is a Memorial Day tradition. Awesome that the men and the women get to crown a champion at the same location.
On the men's side, it's a rematch of the 2022 national championship game. Will Cornell get revenge? Maryland has been impressive, especially in this playoff run.
So good. McNaney, 14 saves in that semifinal. And CJ Kurz for Cornell, first time held without a point in his career. So can't wait to see how he performs on Memorial Day Monday.
Hugh Kelleher, the midfielder for Cornell, he was impressive. He was the spark yesterday for the Big Red that willed them to victory.
Which is what you need in those, semifinal championship games. Who's going to step up?
Oh, Cornell only had 1 loss all season long. It came in overtime against Penn State. They avenged that loss with a semifinal win, now trying to complete a magical season. Speaking of magic, North Carolina 2 minutes and 30 seconds away from completing an undefeated 22-0 national championship. Schweitzer, 17th save. She has been the hero for Northwestern, but just not enough offense on the other end for the Cats.
Great transition defense, slowing Northwestern down.
What has impressed you more over the course of this season, North Carolina's defense or their offense? As Sam Smith breaks through, Wildcats not going away, the Big Ten champs.
I'd say the offense has stolen it for me, the attention from UNC. But their defense has been spectacular. And today, this may be a defense wins championship, but they're not, Northwestern's not going to be given up right now. They're fighting to the end. They love this hard fight. Sam Smith with the rocket, the step and release, trying to pick her moments. 1 minute and 53 seconds. We've seen goals scored is a little as 6 seconds from the draw. This has got to be a make it, take it. North Carolina, it's all about possession, though. If they have the ball, work it. 90 seconds on the shot clock, 1:53 in the game clock.
And I've been wildly impressed with this North Carolina draw unit. They're going up against one of the best at the draw in Northwestern, and they've delivered in the 50-50 battles, in the clean draw wins from Sophie Student. They've been on a string and connected today.
UNC's had 15 draw controls to Northwestern 7.
And that is the difference in this game right now. No margin of error for Northwestern. And Sophie Student picks up the draw control. Carolina has won 7 of 9 draws in this fourth quarter to close out a national championship. Just 90 seconds away from the program's 4th ever national title. Northwestern continues to battle on. Schweitzer, she's got 4 North Carolina players around her, and 2 Northwestern defenders collided there. The Wildcats do have 2 timeouts.
Grace Fujinaga is slow to get up for Northwestern.
Well, it's been a frustrating day for Kelly Amonte Hiller and her assistant coach and husband, Scott Hiller. Dynamic duo over on that Northwestern sideline. And what a dynasty they have built in Evanston. This is their 16th Final Four in their last 20 seasons. 11th national championship game. And even though they're likely to lose this one, they still have 8 where they've won. This would just be their 3rd title game loss. They just never got their offense in rhythm. Madison Taylor, who scored 109 goals this season, scoreless today. Clock stops with 1 minute remaining.
Ellie Tragio, who's had such a great season.
You can see the concern there from her teammates. Head coach Jenny Levy watching on. Just 61 seconds separating North Carolina from their 4th ever national championship.
This Tar Heel team has really just come out so strong, even though held offensively lower than their season production of 17 goals per game. It's been a team effort. See Kayla Wood, assistant coach, who's led this defense this year.
We went right to
ultimately, this game, it was a matter of possessions, and North Carolina, they excelled in the regular season meeting. Northwestern won that battle of the draw control. Today, that one goes to North Carolina. Good to see her getting up and walking off the field.
Ellie Tragio has been a star for this defensive unit. The #1 scoring defense in the nation, oftentimes marking up on opposing teams. Crease attacker, dynamic attackers.
When you talk to the North Carolina players, they mention Ellie Traggio as the unsung hero of this team. She's never going to show up in the stat sheet, but such an integral part of what made this a national championship team this year. And you have to imagine it's bittersweet emotions right now. You're up by 5. You know you're going to win a national championship, but to see Traggio forced to come off the field clearly in pain, heartbreaking at the same time.
3-year starter for them.
Quick restart, and North Carolina scores with Aditi Foster. So Northwestern, that is their 4th goal of this 4th quarter after scoring only 4 in the first 3 quarters combined. Just left it too late.
A little too late in getting it going. We know anything about this Northwestern team, it is that they will fight till the end. And Foster, the freshman, 12th goal this season. A little bit of split dodge, increases her angle by stepping in. Nice bouncer.
Foster, just a freshman for this Northwestern team. She's a lefty, dynamic player. She had the game-winning goal in the Big Ten championship game for them. She's got a bright future ahead in a Wildcat uniform.
We've got a national championship here, and coming up later tonight, Game 3 of the NHL Western Conference Final. ABC and ESPN Plus, Connor McDavid and the Oilers taking on the Stars, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Coming up very shortly over on ABC, just 40 minutes away from puck drop. And Charlotte, you're a Dallas native. I know you've been rooting on the Stars.
I'll be wearing my green. Go Stars.
And we'll get you to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals. Nebraska and Tennessee, Game 3. Beth Mullins, Michelle Smith, and Jessica Mendoza have that coverage right after we're done here in Foxborough. And one last reminder, Memorial Day Monday means a men's champion will be crowned in the sport of lacrosse. Maryland and Cornell, that is 1 Eastern from here at Gillette Stadium tomorrow. Now, what a special season it has been for the sport of women's lacrosse. So much talent, feels like every single year the star power raises up a notch. We've seen that with all the records we've seen broken. Ashley Humphrey, part of that, with the most assists in the history of the sport. And now North Carolina 54 seconds away from a national championship. The draw control continues to be the difference.
This is a North Carolina team that has showed unbelievable depth and chemistry throughout the entirety of the season. They've grown since February, improved in certain areas, but the depth has been on full display from top to bottom.
I don't think I've ever seen a first-year class make this much of an impact. So talented. And Chloe Humphrey, one of the best first-year players that we've seen in the sport.
Now, this could be the start of a special run like Northwestern did when they won 5 in a row from 2005 to 2009. The perfect season is complete. North Carolina, national champions again. A special season which ends with that trophy in the hands of the Tar Heels. 22-0 national champions for the 4th time in program history.
It is so hard to go undefeated, and this team had some belief. They told us they had receipts to cash. They knew everyone that beat them last year. They wanted to take them down. They did just that. And they finished with a perfect season.
Riddled with injuries a season ago, they stormed back. Every game this season, you could feel that energy. You could feel how badly they wanted it. Not a single blemish on the resume this year.
And let's hear from the Hall of Fame head coach Jenny Levy, down with Dana Boyle.
Coach Levy, you find yourself back on the mountaintop, an undefeated season, now national champion. What does this championship mean to you?
Oh, it's awesome. I'm so happy for my team. Obviously, I hope Ellie's okay, but they played their hearts out all year. They've worked hard. They're warriors. They're dogs. Congrats to Northwestern and a great year that they've had. They're great competitors and, obviously make us better because of what we have to do to beat them. But I'm so fired up for our team and our program. I'm kind of speechless right now.
An injury-riddled season a season ago. What did you learn about the team this season?
We're just tough. Like we don't try to survive anything. We want to thrive in everything they do, and they just kept persevering in every new challenge we had. They crossed that bridge every single time. So congrats to them. They're amazing kids.
Depth and chemistry was on display all this weekend, headlined by a first-year class that is led by Chloe Humphrey. Have you seen a player like Chloe Humphrey?
No, she's amazing. I know we had a tough shooting day, but Schweitzer did a great job. But Chloe's so dynamic. She can go right, left. She can be in a million different ways. I just have such the privilege to coach her, and her hard work and her passion for the game is just something special. So.
What a privilege to win a national championship with your daughter, Kate. What does that mean to you?
It's awesome. I'm so fired up for her. She's been in the stands for the other three, and she's tough, and just for her and to be here with her teammates. I know she's my daughter, but even more fired up that she's with her team doing the things that she loves to do.
Congratulations. Go celebrate.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
And Jenny and Kate, the first ever mother-daughter duo to win a women's lacrosse national championship. Kate Levy, part of that special freshman class, which is headlined by Chloe Humphrey. 4 goals today for the freshman phenom, Chloe Humphrey, our Capital One player of the game.
She was absolutely sensational this entire weekend, putting the team on her back, winning in that semifinal game, and today 4 goals and 1 assist.
Her head coach said it, Sheehan. She can beat you in a million different ways. It's the off-ball awareness, it's the two-handedness, it's the slippery stick work, and it's the dodging ability from number 2 in blue.
Well, we keep calling Chloe the future of the sport. The future is here. Chloe Humphrey, a national champion, a record-setting 90-goal freshman year, the most in the history of the sport. She is a finalist for the nation's Player of the Year award, the Tewaaraton, the first freshman finalist on the women's side, the first freshman finalist since Mikey Powell did it on the men's side.
Rarefied air right there. Mikey Powell, one of the game's all-time greats, men's or women's.
And with her performance today, you got to imagine that she could be a real contender to win that coveted award.
Her older sister, Ashley, very much the quarterback of this North Carolina offense, and the eldest sister, Nicole, this is her second national championship for North Carolina, but first alongside her sisters, and it's all smiles for the Humphrey sisters, as it should be.
What a way to go out for the older two, Ashley and Nicole. Ashley ends her career as the all-time leader in career assists.
Their parents, Sarah and John, watching on in the crowd. High school head coach Lisa Lindley is here, and the party has started for the Humphrey sisters. Let's hear from them with Dana Boyle.
Hats on. Oh God, these things are loose.
You got to get your hats on. You guys told me through various parts of this season that this was a dream to play together. Now you're national champions. What does that mean?
I mean, I have no words. It's unbelievable. To be able to do it alongside my sisters is something I could have never dreamed of. This team is unlike any other I've ever been on, and I'm shaking. I'm speechless. I don't have any words. I don't know if you guys want to.
Nicole, you won in 2022. Now you win again in 2025. What's it like to do it next to your little sisters?
I mean, you really can't make a better story than this one. This has been such a dream come true, and winning with them, it means so much more than it has in the past. So.
Chloe, as the youngest sister, did you learn from these two?
Sorry?
As the youngest sister, did you learn from these two?
I've learned quite a few things, whether it was like on the field, off the field. I've just learned so much from them, but you know, I'm not ready for it to be over. That's gonna be a tough pill to swallow, but
we're happy you have a few more years. Thank you guys, go celebrate.
Thank you.
What a moment for the Humphrey sisters. What a season for North Carolina. 22-0, a perfect season. National champions for the 4th time in program history. They win it 12-8 over the Big Ten champs, Northwestern. For she and Sandwick Birch, Charlotte North, Dana Boyle, our producer Jordan Cannon, our director Brett Lancaster. I'm Jay Alter saying so long from Foxborough, but the postseason fun continues. Let's get you to some softball, Nebraska and Tennessee.